Hey, everybody, Dr. Axe here. Hey, thanks so much for being on today. I'm excited to talk about ancient remedies and how they can help you heal. And their big thing here is they're going to help you treat the root cause of disease. And I'm going to teach you how to use food as medicine to help heal. And again, I'm just so honored everybody's on today. So today I'm also going to be talking about ancient remedies, everything from mushrooms, herbs and spices, essential oils, specific foods that can help different areas of the body. And I'll get into how to heal the brain, how to heal your hormones, how to improve your digestive system, how to reduce inflammation, and a whole lot more all today. So again, I'm honored everybody's here watching and excited to dive in. I'm going to talk a little bit about my new book. It's called Ancient Remedies, just released. And I was really excited about this book. We had Dr. Oz write the foreword. He rarely does that, and he was so excited about the topic that he wrote an endorsement here for the book as well, and so did a lot of other people. So anyways, I think this information is going to help you transform your health and life. And here's the thing. The reason why I wrote this book is because this information that's in this book helped my mom transform her life. And I'm going to share that story quick. Then we're going to dive right in, and I'm going to talk about these ancient remedies that can help you heal. But growing up, my family knew nothing about nutrition or ancient remedies. We were sort of stuck in what I call the medical model. So anytime we were sick, we went to the doctor, we got put on drugs. We didn't know there was another way. But at 41 years old, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she went through all the traditional medical treatments. She went and had a mastectomy. She went through rounds and rounds of chemotherapy. In fact, I can tell you, I still remember her losing her hair, how sick she got, and thinking to myself, I never want to see anyone go through that again. And I also thought to myself as a kid, there has to be a better way. So from that time on, I started studying nutrition. I was in 7th grade at the time. I started working out more. I started learning as much as I could about natural health. And then, so anyways, and all that, I want to go back to this too. My mom went through all those treatments. She was diagnosed as being cancer-free. The crazy thing was, though, my mom seemed like she had more health problems after going through all these treatments than before. My mom got put on antidepressant drugs, anti-anxiety drugs, had hypothyroidism, chronic fatigue syndrome, digestive issues. Her hormones were off. She was just sick and tired all the time, was carrying about 20 to 30 extra pounds. And one of my memories of my mom growing up was that she was always sick and always tired. And so this went on for years, 13, 14 years. About that time later, 13, 14 years later, I was actually studying to become a doctor. Actually, I was about 6 months out from opening my own functional medicine clinic in Nashville, Tennessee. And I get a call from my mom. And she calls me in tears on the phone and she says, Josh, I'm just sobbing. She said, I've just been diagnosed with cancer again in my lungs. She said, what do I do? I said, Mom, I'll be home. I flew from Florida where I was in school back to Ohio where I grew up. We sat down and prayed together. We've both felt really led to take care of her all naturally. And so that's what we did. And her oncologist said, hey, I want you to go in and start doing surgery and radiation. And basically we said to her, give us 4 months. And she said, okay. So with my mom, she started doing some juice vegetables, doing a lot of bone broth, a lot of cooked vegetables. We started, and I was doing research at the time. I started reading up and doing online research about remedies for cancer and diets for cancer. And I came across all these amazing things like keto and then also Chinese medicine. And I started reading about herbs like turmeric and mushrooms like reishi. And so we started giving my mom turmeric and reishi and certain essential oils. But her diet was basically made up of vegetables, both cooked and raw, a little bit of bone broth and salmon and berries. And that was it. It was loads of vegetables, wild organic meat, and some berries. That was her diet. And then things like turmeric and reishi and other supplements. Probiotics was one. And she followed this diet. We worked on reducing stress, and we followed a program for 4 months. 4 months later, went back to the oncologist. They redid a CT scan. We got a call the next day. Here is what the doctor's exact words were. She said, this is highly unusual. We don't typically see this, but your tumors have shrunk by more than half. She said, we want to see you again in 9 months. Went back 9 months later, complete remission. Today, my mom's in the best shape of her life. In fact, she's in her late 60s. She's water ski. She's ran a 5K with me a few years back, got second in her age group. She says she feels better now in her late 60s than she did in her 30s. And really, it's because of the power of using food as medicine and using mindset and lifestyle medicine that we'll talk about. But I learned these principles, started applying them with patients, and started seeing incredible results in my functional medicine clinic when I ran that. And I took all of the knowledge I had as well, and then started drax.com, my website, and then releasing this book that really gets into, I think this is the premier book on this, how to heal the root cause of disease. So many people today are going into their doctors, they're getting put on a pill, and that pill is just causing more side effects. Did you know there's not a single medication out there today that doesn't deplete nutrients from your body and create a major side effect? For instance, antibiotic drugs, they deplete your body of zinc, which is critical for your immune system. Vitamins like B12, so it will lower your energy and your libido, and also deplete your body of probiotics, because antibiotics not only kill the bad bacteria, they kill the good bacteria as well, which is a critical part of your immune system. And so all that being said, here's the great thing. Natural remedies like herbs, spices, mushrooms, and superfoods can help you heal without the side effects. And so I want to get into some of this today. I want to talk about this, though. I think this is really interesting. In Chinese medicine, there was something called the 5 elements. And by the way, when I use some of this terminology, those words sound kind of strange. The thing to remember, though, it's just a different language. I started hearing words like qi and yin and yang, and I thought, whoa, those sound out there, right? Really weird. And I just started realizing, it's just a different language. If we used the word ATP or DNA back then, they would have thought, what is that person saying? It's a very similar thing. So all that being said, in Chinese medicine, here was one of the first principles of healing. Not everyone's the same. Because let me ask you this, have you ever done this where you have had a friend or maybe even a family member, but you've had somebody who they did a diet, you tried the exact same diet, and by the way, they got great results and you tried it and you didn't get good results. Why? Because everybody is a unique individual. In the ancient forms of medicine, whether it be Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, to a degree, even things like biblical medicine, Greek medicine, they knew this. You are a unique individual, and you need to be able to understand how you're uniquely wired. So in Chinese medicine, they had something called the 5 elements, and it was pretty much like the first personality profile. And I'm sure many of you have done a personality profile. Like, have you ever taken an Enneagram quiz or a DISC profile or Myers-Briggs? And they said, hey, this is your personality profile. And it's amazing when you read those, how accurate it is to the way you're wired. Well, Chinese medicine did this over 3,000 years ago. But not only was it a personality profile based on 5 different personality profiles, but it was also had recommendations for your health in there. Because what they found is when you have different emotions affect different organ systems. Listen to this. This will blow you away. And this is true already. And science is now showing this. So the emotion of fear, if you have that exact emotion of fear, it puts your body in a fight or flight state. When you're in a fight or flight state, it causes your adrenal glands. That's the organ system that's working. Your body's producing adrenaline and cortisol and these stress hormones. But if that happens too much, what happens? Your adrenal glands get worn out. Your adrenal glands are kind of like a battery, right? Think about a battery on your cellular phone, okay? What's your battery at? Is it 80%, 60%, 40%? If that battery is low, that battery supplies all your other organ systems. And so the emotion of fear causes disease in your adrenal glands and your reproductive organs, according to ancient Chinese medicine. So we know that fear affects that system. Well, different emotions affect other systems as well. What about worry? Have you ever heard anybody worry and they say, I feel like my stomach is tied in knots, or they get an upset stomach from worrying? Why? Because worry causes dysfunction and disease in your upper digestive systems, particularly your stomach and your pancreas. Or the emotion of anger. If you have anger or resentment, frustration, impatience, those emotions affect the liver and gallbladder and will affect the way you digest fat and detoxify. A few other examples of this would be anxiety. So anxiety, what happens? Your blood pressure raises when you have nervousness and anxiety, right? Your heartbeat goes up, your blood pressure goes up. So we know anxiety causes diseases of the heart. And then we also have issues related to your grief. Okay, grief is something bad has happened in the past. Maybe it was a form of abuse. It could be emotional, verbal, physical, or maybe you had something happen in the past maybe you wanted to do something and it never happened and you're still literally living in the past, that actually affects your lungs and your colon, which is your immune system. And so you see what I'm saying here is that emotions actually affect your organ systems, but then you can actually, number one thing to do is heal those emotions. So if you have a lot of fear, focus on faith and hope in your future, and you can meditate on those things, and that can help you heal emotionally. But then also certain foods help heal different organ systems. So for instance, if you need to heal your brain, there's a way to know the exact foods that will help heal your brain. So here's what I'm going to jump into now. I'm going to teach you how to use food as medicine based on three things. You're going to know the foods to eat based on the shape of the food, the color of the food, and the flavor of the food. And here's what's so amazing about ancient remedies and ancient forms of medicine. And I hit on this in my new book, Ancient Remedies. But there was a study that came out 10 years ago. And it was a medical study, and the medical community said, we've had a big breakthrough. We found that when you combine turmeric and black pepper together, it increases the absorption of turmeric by 154%. So what happened is a lot of supplement companies and medical companies started putting turmeric, black pepper in with their turmeric because they found this study helped that. And the medical community said, hey, we did an amazing job. They were sort of congratulating each other. Here's the crazy thing, though. Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine knew this more than 3,000 years ago. There's a recipe, and it's called, you can look it up online. It's called turmeric golden milk or turmeric golden tea. And the mixture is turmeric combined with a warming spice blend of black pepper and ginger combined with something like coconut milk or ghee, okay, a healthy fat. Because here's what they knew back then without the medical studies. They knew that warming spices, because they open up your blood vessels. So think about this. If you ever eat cayenne pepper or garlic or ginger or something that's spicy can help you sweat, right? It opens up your pores. It opens up your blood vessels and it increases circulation. So now turmeric can get out to every cell and tissue of your body, helping your whole body heal. These ancient physicians knew that 3,000 years ago. So all that being said, they also knew other things like foods that will help heal different medical conditions. Let me give you an example. You can tell what foods will heal organs based on the shape of those foods. I think this is amazing. So think about this. Think about a walnut. What does a walnut look like? Well, a walnut looks like a head. You crack it open, and there's two sides to it. It looks like the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Did you know that walnuts are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, choline, and vitamin E, all of which in now medical studies have been shown to heal your brain and improve your memory? Think about a coconut. What does that look like? It looks like your head. A coconut on the inside is full of coconut meat that is high in medium chain fatty acids that supports your brain. It has been shown in studies to help prevent Alzheimer's disease. Also has a liquid inside that's similar to your cerebral spinal fluid, which surrounds your brain and acts as an electrolyte drink. Another example would be beets. You cut open beets, what happens? Beets look like blood. Beets help boost nitric oxide, and they're one of the number one foods for healing your heart. Think about celery, a stalk of celery. Hold up a stalk of celery to your forearm here. It looks like your bones. Did you know that celery is the most alkaline of all vegetables, and it's rich in calcium and vitamin K, so it actually helps fight osteoporosis and naturally boost your bone density. Think about this, a tomato. This one's amazing. A tomato, actually, an heirloom tomato looks like your heart. Guess what? An heirloom tomato has 4 chambers in it. What else has 4 chambers? Your heart has 4 chambers. They're both red. A tomato is loaded with lycopene, a phytonutrient that's been shown to help reverse heart disease. Reishi mushroom. If you Google a picture of a reishi mushroom, you'll see it looks like your kidneys and your adrenal glands. And it's known as an adrenal tonic that can help you lower stress. A few other examples that are amazing. Onions actually look like your cells. They contain a compound called quercetin, which actually supports cellular regeneration and cleansing. An avocado actually looks like a uterus. It contains high levels of magnesium, potassium, and certain fats that help the uterus relax and help balance hormones. Olives look like ovaries. They contain polyphenols that actually improve your hormonal health. And then you've got figs look like testes, almost like little sperm inside as well. And those were used in Roman culture to boost fertility and libido. And I could go on and on and on. It is so amazing. Kidney beans, what do they look like? They look like kidneys, right? Those are good for your kidneys. So anyways, and I hit on a lot more there in the book, but that's how these ancient people knew. And I think it's amazing that we have a creator who literally said, hey, I'm going to show you what to eat. I'm going to make them look like organ systems. So listen, if you want to heal your brain, what do you eat? You eat walnuts. You eat healthy fat from things like coconut. That's what you do. So we know what to eat based on the shape. We also know based on the color. Foods that are green support the liver, okay? They really support detoxification if they're green. Foods that are red, those support the heart. Foods that are orange support the digestive system. Foods that are yellow, like ginger, garlic, and chicken bone broth, right? Those are all light yellow. Those are the immune boosting foods. And then foods that are blues and purples, those dark colors, those really support your reproductive organs. They're very high in antioxidants. So those are good to consume. And then the flavor, sour supports detox, bitter supports your heart, umami, which is a taste of like cheese or miso soup, that or ginger, that sort of umami flavor that's consumed a lot in Japanese cuisine is good for your immune system. And then we have sweet, which not the sweet you're thinking of, not like sugary sweet, but kind of like cinnamon or sweet potato sweet. That's good for your digestive system. And then salty, a little bit of like sea salt or from seafood is good for your kidneys and your bladder. So again, we know what to eat based on the shape, the color, and the flavor of the food. Now, I want to talk about specific herbs and superfoods that are great for different medical conditions. Let's first talk about inflammation. Inflammation is one of those conditions that so many people have. In fact, almost all disease is related to inflammation. By the way, anything that has an itis at the end, like an itis, like arthritis or ulcerative colitis, that means inflammation in Latin, okay? So think about this, arthritis, that's inflammation of your joints. Ulcerative colitis, that's inflammation of the colon. But if you want to heal, you got to reduce inflammation. Some of the most anti-inflammatory foods are going to be omega-3 fatty acid-rich foods. So wild-caught fish like salmon, walnuts have omega-3 fats. Even chia seeds and flax seeds are going to have those. And then a lot of fruits and vegetables. From an herb standpoint, to reduce inflammation, the best herbs are turmeric is number one by far. Okay, so turmeric is number one. Ginger is probably number two. Then I would say there's actually a really unique herb that's a cousin of ginger and turmeric called galangal, which is fantastic. And then I would say something like CBD oil. So CBD is also very anti-inflammatory. And then rosemary, okay? The same rosemary you'd cook with like an Italian cooking, very anti-inflammatory. Those are the best for reducing inflammation. Let's talk about women's hormones. If you want to balance women's hormones, let's talk about reproductive organs first. I would highly recommend Vitex. If you are under the age, if you're premenopausal, Vitex is an herb that helps balance out progesterone and estrogen, really powerful. And then if you're postmenopausal, black cohosh is an herb that can help with any sort of symptoms, just balancing hormones, even hot flashes, that type of thing. Very good. For men, for male hormones, I really like fenugreek and ashwagandha. Okay, fenugreek and ashwagandha. If you are before the age of 50. If you're after the age of 50, I would take ginseng and fenugreek, and those naturally boost and support testosterone and human growth hormone. They'll make you feel younger and more energetic. And then for thyroid conditions, ashwagandha, number one herb by far. If you have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or if you're just generally stressed and want to support your adrenal glands, ashwagandha was the number one herb used in Ayurvedic medicine. It's a really powerful herb for those conditions. Let's talk about gut health, okay? Gut health, you want to consume a diet that, and by the way, with men's and women's hormones, you want to get a lot of healthy fats there and lower the carbohydrates. That's really important, okay, for hormonal health. For gut health, you want to consume foods that are easy to digest, a lot of cooked vegetables, and organic meat, okay? So things like steamed vegetables and wild salmon, grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, but in a lot of soups. Okay, bone broth is the number one superfood for healing your gut and for healing your immune system. You can take that as a bone broth. You can drink it. You could buy a bone broth protein powder or collagen powder, get those that way too to get a lot of that collagen. But bone broth, number one healing food for gut. And then in terms of herbal supplements, ginger is fantastic. Ginger reduces inflammation. It helps you better break down and digest food. So it actually acts like an enzyme. And another big one that a lot of people haven't heard of, but this will be the herb you continue to hear more about in the future. And this is an herb that supports your gut and your immune system. It's called astragalus. So it's the number one herb prescribed in Chinese medicine for healing a condition called leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome is when you imagine your intestinal wall. It's a barrier between, or your gut lining. It's a barrier in between your intestines and your bloodstream. Kind of acts like a fishing net. Well, imagine that fishing, and what it's designed to do is allow like vitamins and nutrients, so very small things in, but to keep big things out like undigested proteins like gluten. Well, a lot of people get a lot of inflammation in their gut, and then they get sort of holes in this net. So then things that should never get in your bloodstream start getting in there, like gluten and casein and bad bacteria, and all these things get in there. They can recirculate and cause inflammation in your body. And if it's not fixed over time, it'll cause food sensitivities and even things like autoimmune disease. And so the best way to heal that is a diet that's full of mostly chicken vegetable soups, bone broth, cooked vegetables, wild organic meat, and then taking supplements like ginger. Number one supplement, though, is astragalus for healing leaky gut syndrome, and also great for your immune system. I also like licorice root extract is another good one for your gut. So those are some of the best. And then the other big thing with gut health is you want to take a probiotic, not just any probiotic. You want to take a probiotic that has soil-based organisms. These are the type of probiotics that are found in the soil today. And they're really the most powerful type of probiotics because they're known as resilient probiotics. You may not know this, but a lot of times when people take probiotics today, they don't survive. So you may take a probiotic supplement, but probiotics that are food-based are very sensitive to heat and acid. So when it travels through your body, there's a lot of heat, there's a lot of acid, and so those probiotics tend to die. Soil-based organisms, though, are heat and acid resistant. So they'll make it all the way through your body. So when buying a probiotic, just search for an SBO probiotic. That's what you want to get. It's really going to help with your gut health. Now, here's the next one I want to talk about is your immune system, right? This is huge. So, today more than ever before, we want to be taking care of our immunity. And remember this saying, okay? Immune health starts with gut health. So if you want to take care of your immune system, there's specific things for your immune system you can do, but 70% of your immune system is made up of your gut. So really, if you want to heal your immune system, you got to take care of your gut first. So do a lot of the things I just shared with you. In addition, here are the best natural remedies to boost your immune system, whether you're sick or trying to prevent it. From nutrients, 3 main nutrients you need here, okay? 3 main nutrients: vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C. So those are the 3. The biggest 2, though, are actually vitamin D and zinc. If you want to boost your immune system, vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C. Those are the 3 big ones. In terms of herbals, it's echinacea, elderberry, and astragalus. Elderberry, echinacea, astragalus. It's the big 3 and the big 3 of nutrients and herbals to really boost your immune system. Now, if you're sick, there's also a mushroom that's really great called turkey tail. That's another good one. But if you just want to keep it real basic, those are the big ones: vitamin D, zinc, vitamin C, elderberry, echinacea, astragalus. Big ones to help heal and naturally boost your immune system. Let's talk about a few others. We're talking about brain health and cancer. Brain, you want to consume ginkgo biloba, lion's mane mushroom, and CBD oil. Those are going to help the brain to fight cancer. Most powerful herbals and mushrooms are going to be turmeric, galangal. I would also say for mushrooms, reishi and turkey tail. So taking those mushrooms will also help. Now listen, I could go on and on and on about all of the different mushrooms and nutrients and everything else. But we just want to encourage you guys, hey, get the new book here, Ancient Remedies. You can see one of the things I've done in the back here. So first off, the book really gets into all these nutritional principles, but it's really simple and easy. There's lots of graphs, lots of charts. There's a quiz in here so you can find out which type you are. So which type of diet is best for you. In addition, I go through 70 different prescriptions to heal different conditions. So if you have autoimmune disease, I go through the exact foods to eat, the foods not to eat, the top 5 supplements. And I'll give you an example of this here too. So for instance, here's one for fibromyalgia. Okay. You can see here on this page, fibromyalgia. And basically what I do here is I go through, okay, here's the foods to eat. You want to eat magnesium-rich foods. You want to eat spinach, asparagus, broccoli, blueberries, apples, pears, rice congee, omega-3 rich foods. So I go through the exact foods. I go through the foods you shouldn't eat, some of which will probably surprise you, like pork is really bad for fibromyalgia. And then the best nutrients are magnesium, astragalus, ashwagandha, turmeric, CBD oil. And then I go through some other really incredible natural treatments, remedies, the best essential oils, and a similar thing for the flu. So this is also a reference guide that you'll go back to over and over and over again. So for the flu here, you can see flu. I go through elderberry, echinacea, a unique type of a probiotic. I go through the amount of zinc and vitamin D. I go through the dosages, the whole thing. So, even if your kids are sick or you have friends sick, you literally just flip to the back of the book over 75 conditions and say, oh, hey, I've got, my friend has inflammatory bowel disease. Here's exactly what you can tell them to do. And I've heard a lot of people say, you know what? I feel like an expert now after going through the book, that now I can recommend to my family, my friends, everyone, exactly what they should be doing and taking. And so anyways, I want to encourage you guys right now. It's actually on sale on Amazon and in bookstores. So you can run out to your local bookstores and get the book, or just go to Amazon and just search Dr. Axe Ancient Remedies. And anyways, just encourage you to check out. All right, I want to dive back in here and talk about some of the ways you can start healing here as well. One of the, actually first, let me talk about, I got into cancer, talked about that. Great. Okay. So I want to talk about some of the most healing foods that most people are not getting in their diet, but we should be getting in our diet. Here's some big ones. Okay. One is bone broth, right? Bone broth is the number one superfood we're missing in our diet because it's rich in collagen. 1/3 of all the protein in your body is made up of collagen. So, today we go and eat a chicken breast, we eat a steak, we eat, a salmon fillet, but yet we don't get broth with it. All of our ancient ancestors would have got collagen when they were eating meat. So here's the first thing to know is pretty much everybody on the planet, 99% of people should be getting 1 serving of bone broth or a collagen protein every single day. It's critical because your skin, hair, and nails, your bones, listen to this, there's actually more collagen in your bones than calcium and all other minerals combined. Why do we think calcium is the most important mineral? Because of dairy commercials years ago trying to sell their product. I'm not saying calcium isn't important, but calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and vitamin D, those are all critical. But what's just as critical or more critical than those is collagen. In addition, collagen is what makes up your gut. Listen, you're not what you eat, you are what you digest. If you're not absorbing and digesting properly, then you're not going to be healthy. So really, collagen is important for healing your gut lining. It's also what makes up your joints. A lot of people have joint discomfort, achy joints, and pain. The amount of people I've seen who have improved by drinking bone broth is incredible. So anyways, the number one superfood you should be getting in your diet that you may not be is bone broth. Okay, after that, this one might surprise you. Organ meats are fantastic, like liver. If you go over to Europe today, a place like Germany, they eat liver. Liver is the most nutrient dense of all foods. That I'm not counting herbs and spices, but the most nutrient dense. In fact, it's more nutrient dense than kale. It's known as nature's B vitamin. It actually supports liver detoxification. So again, and by the way, you can eat it or take it in capsule form. It's especially good if you need to increase your energy or build your blood or support detoxification. So organ meats, now listen, you don't have to do those, but I do think for many people, they're beneficial. Here's another big one. Generally vegetables, right? When you're buying vegetables, get a lot of green leafies like kale and chard and spinach, and then a lot of cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, broccoli rabe. It's a really bitter type of broccoli that's really great. So again, get a lot of vegetables. But here's the thing that might surprise you. Most of the time, you're better off eating cooked vegetables than raw vegetables. Now, if it's in the summer and it's hot and you have a healthy digestive system, or spring and summer, you can eat more raw vegetables. But did you know in the winter and fall, you're better off eating mostly or only cooked vegetables? And the rest of the year, it's a mixture of cooked and raw. And so all that being said, you want to get a lot of these vegetables in your diet, especially cooked. Berries, okay? Berries are the most nutrient dense of all fruits. So I'd recommend especially raspberries, blueberries, things like goji berries. You can buy goji berry powder, put that in a smoothie in the morning. But do lots and lots of berries. Like Chelsea and I, my wife, we order berries and we add them to our smoothies or our oatmeal, something like that, or snack on those throughout the day. But berries are the best because they're so rich in antioxidants. They also support your adrenal glands, so they help you live longer. In addition to berries, mushrooms, okay? In ancient Chinese medicine, they recommended mushrooms like they did vegetables, okay? So eating a lot of vegetables and a lot of different types of mushrooms. And different colors of berries like red, blue, and purple. So with mushrooms, you can buy shiitake, you can buy maitake, you can buy lion's mane and add them into soup. So if you make a chicken soup or vegetable soup, add some mushrooms in there. If you're making a burger at home, saute up some onions and mushrooms. Try and get mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, you could also take them in capsule form and take them as a supplement. Herbs and spices, just get more of them. If you're making hummus at home, add in some extra cumin and add in some turmeric. If you're making burger meat, add in some rosemary and garlic. If you're making chicken, add in a bunch of basil. So start using more herbs and spices. Did you know, this is amazing, up until 100 years ago, when somebody used the word medicine, do you know what they meant? They meant herbs and spices. There were things called apothecaries in ancient pharmacies. If you would go in there, they weren't full of these little orange bottles with pills. When you went into an ancient pharmacy, it was full of herbs, spices, mushrooms, and organ meats. That's what was in there. And then people would make teas for healing and soups for healing with these different herbs and spices. And so anyways, herbs and spices are medicine. Eat more turmeric, eat more ginger, rosemary, basil, garlic, cinnamon is amazing for your blood sugar. So again, start using more herbs and spices. As a sweetener, I really like honey and stevia. Raw local honey is good for allergies. Manuka honey is good for your gut. Stevia is a no-calorie natural sweetener. Those are the best ancient sweeteners. And then get more probiotic-rich foods. That's good for your gut. And then more healthy fats. Most people consume too many carbs. Get avocados, olives, healthy nuts and seeds. Olive oil and coconut oil are the best two oils for you to use on a regular basis. So olive oil and coconut oil should be the go-to oils. They're the healthiest ones out there as well. All right. So listen, guys, I've talked about a lot here. I want to say this though. If you're saying to yourself, Dr. X, this is a lot of stuff. Well, here's the thing. I make it so simple in my new book, but in addition, listen to this. If you just make one change based off of this training, do this. Just change breakfast. Think about this. If you just change your breakfast, that's 1/3 of your diet. That is a big change. So do this for me. Whatever breakfast you're eating, start eating a healthy breakfast, something like a collagen superfood smoothie. It's just 3 ingredients. It's easy to make. Here's what you're going to do. 1 cup of water or something like a coconut milk or almond milk. Okay, so that's the base. Then add in 1 cup of fruit like berries, like blueberries or raspberries or strawberries. So add in berries, and then 1 scoop of a multi-collagen protein or a bone broth protein, vanilla flavor, chocolate flavor, but make sure it's a collagen protein or a bone broth protein, vanilla or chocolate flavor. Add that into the smoothie, press blend, boom, you're good to go. Now you can get fancy. You can add in green superfoods powder. You can add in a handful of spinach. You can add in some cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice, which has all of these unique antioxidants, but it's 3 basic ingredients. And you're getting the healthy fat from coconut milk or almond milk. You're getting loads of antioxidants and nutrients from the berries, and you're getting collagen, that form of protein that supports metabolism, in that bone broth protein or a collagen protein powder in that way, okay? So, and it's just amazing. If you just start doing that superfood smoothie, you're going to feel fantastic. By just doing that, you can see a breakthrough. And I wanted to share, that's one of the things you'll find in my new book is that it is so, you'll read through it and you'll say, this is really simple and easy, yet you've learned so much that you can apply and even be a leader and a teacher for others on. So I want to encourage you guys, hey, run out and check out the new book. It's called Ancient Remedies. It's in bookstores nationwide. So you can just run out to your local bookstore now, pick up a copy, or hey, order it online. They'll be shipped to you in 3 days on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. Just search Dr. Axe Ancient Remedies. By the way, I have nearly 80 healing recipes in this book that taste fantastic. So that's the thing is, like, we have a recipe for my wife's special recipe for chocolate chip cookies. It uses almond flour and coconut flour, or you could substitute oat flour, dark chocolate chips, pastured eggs, butter, or coconut oil. It is amazing. So we have that. We have a recipe in here for cheesecake, blueberry pumpkin pancakes, quiche. In a lot of these recipes, they're shorter, so they're actually really easy and fast to make for the whole family. Will love them. So you can get that in the book, and it acts as a reference guide. So I'm so excited for you guys to check out this book. Once you read it, do me a favor too. Once you just, even if you only jump into part of it, go on Amazon.com, leave a review, and let me know what was your favorite thing about the book there on your Amazon review, or go on my social media page at Dr. Josh Axe on Facebook or Instagram, and let me know what you think of it there. But hey, I hope you've enjoyed this training on how to use food as medicine and start treating the root cause of disease. Because again, far too many people today, we're relying on a medical system today that is very flawed. Versus if you can start eating healthy, start exercising, start having the right mindset, your body can heal, and it can heal so fast. So I want to say, hey, thanks so much for watching this video on how to heal using ancient remedies.